Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is kind of weird, but let me explain. Danny from Danny Dabbles came out with this year-long challenge called That's Not Normal, and she came out with this challenge 4 or 5 months ago, I believe. The different challenges throughout the month of 2025. And when I first saw Danny's video, I was like, ooh, that is so cool. I would love to do that. And then I did absolutely nothing with it. But then I saw Danny's update video, and we went over a lot of the books that she had already read, but we also talked about what books she would like to use for the rest of the challenge. So I'm going to take her idea of That's Not Normal, and basically it's a read out of your comfort zone reading bingo, but it's not really a bingo, it's just a challenge. And I am going to start it in June of 2025, so I'm going to actually give myself the whole year. So June of 2026 is how long I'm giving myself. I would like to do updates every quarter, maybe every 3 to 4 months on this challenge. But I have a lot of challenges going on right now, and I'm very proud of myself for trying to keep up with all of them. And I'm working on not being so hard on myself if for some reason 1 or 2 of these challenges don't work out. With that being said, let's get into this. Technically, you only need to pick 10 books, but I'm an overachiever, so I have, of course, picked my, I think, 12. You only have to pick 10 books, but I have 12. Anyways, That's Not Normal is like this reading outside of your comfort zone type of reading challenge, and yeah, I will link Danny down below, so go check Danny out. But let's get into it. The first one is things you avoid. And the first category is a genre that you avoid. So immediately I thought sci-fi, because I ain't no sci-fi girly. I scoured my shelves for sci-fi, and like, I do not like sci-fi, or I haven't found a sci-fi book that I like. I'm not saying that I'll never read sci-fi, but at this current moment, it's not for me. So I scoured my shelves, and I actually have 4 fantasy books. Oh my god. Who is she? And I know you're like, oh, 4 fantasy, that's nothing. But for me, that is huge. So I'm going to read A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. Here's the thing. I love K.A. Tucker's contemporary romances, specifically the Simple Wild series. Even though I haven't finished it, I've only read the first book. I loved it. I've also read the Player Next Door series, but I've read a lot of K.A. Tucker's contemporary books, and there was this seller on Pango that had just a lot of K.A. Tucker, and I haven't hauled it yet, but I bought the entire lot, and in that lot was A Fate of Wrath and Flame. And then I realized that it's a fantasy, and that there's like a pickpocketer, and it takes place in New York, and there's something about a crime boss and Gods and Monsters. I'm terrified of this book now. But I really love K.A. Tucker. So even though I'm scared of this book, I love that author so much that here we are. This will be a genre that I avoid. Okay, the next one is long versus short. So if you normally read short books, pick a longer book. If you normally read longer books, pick a short book. I cheated. I do not read series. I avoid series I hate them. I hate them with a burning passion. Have I read a few good series? Absolutely. Are there always exceptions to every rule? Definitely. But I do not like to read series. I usually like the first book and then don't like the second book, Finlay Donovan. Or I just don't feel that the character, the world that you were in the first book is the same as the second or third character. Rick Yancey's The Fifth Wave series. So I try to avoid series, but I'm pretty sure this is a duology, and I think that they're new adult romances. I think that it goes Frigid and then Scorched by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I don't know for sure. I honestly don't know a whole lot about them. I got sucked in by the sprayed edges and just those covers. Those covers are so nice. I think it's new adult romance of sorts. And like I said, I believe it goes that way, but I'm going to figure it out before I read this duology series. I don't know what the difference between a duet or a duology is, if I'm being honest, because I don't read series very often. Then classics versus modern. I am very much a modern girly. And this might be cheating because this is an epic poem, and I love epic poems when I read them. Don't read them often, but I love them when I read them. But this is a classic. I don't read a lot of classics, and this is Inferno by Dante. This is for a different horror bingo reading challenge that I'm participating in. I'll point you to that TBR video too, or that update video. But I'm excited to read this, probably more in the fall, like September, October time. But I am excited for this, but also like classics. Tense or point of view. For tense or point of view, I'm cheating, kind of. I don't know. This is The Black Phone Stories by Joe Hill. Honestly, Danny said that you can change, like modify the prompts however you need to put books on there. And this was, I picked out from Goodwill, and I told my brother-in-law that I was gonna read it right away, because initially I bought this for a readathon that happened last year. And you know where this is going. I didn't read it, but for tense or points of view, there are 13 points of view. They are all their own stories, so there's 13 short stories in here. But there's Finney, who has been abducted by the psychopath, and he is chained downstairs, or he's downstairs in the basement, held hostage, duh. And this old black phone that doesn't even work starts ringing at night. And every night for 12 nights, someone else comes on the other end of the phone and tells Finney what happened to them and how they are gonna help Finney get out of the situation so that Finney doesn't die and get murdered by this psychopath. So it's very, very intriguing, and I'm actually really excited for it. But like I said, it's been on my TBR for like a year now, and I'm scared because it's like a short story collection, and I don't typically read them, and if I do, I don't typically like them, but I'm counting this. Then Bookish Pursuits, anti-bookish buzzwords. Okay, this one might get me canceled. I hate when people call a book cozy. When a book is described as cozy, I'm running for the hills. I'm not gonna read that book. But I found myself buying The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore at Target last week. This is heavily inspired by Gilmore Girls, and I don't need to know anything else. I just know that I love Gilmore Girls. Loved it in my youth. I haven't watched it in a while, and I really didn't like the remake or the final revival, or I don't even remember what it's called on Netflix. I didn't like that one, and I know I'm the unpopular opinion, but I really didn't like it. I loved Gilmore Girls from back when I was a child, and I'm hoping that this will give me nostalgic vibes of that. But it's cozy, and I don't like cozy. Different perspective. If I remember correctly, Danny said a different perspective than you're used to reading. So I obviously don't know for sure because I haven't read this yet, but I'm pretty sure that Love Scenes by Bridget Messy only follows from Sloane's perspective, and it's a romance. So that's interesting, but more than that, this takes place in Hollywood, and it's like directors or actor and actress. I'm not entirely sure. They're somehow connected in a TV situation. I hate stories that follow Hollywood and like actors, actresses, directors. Not for me. Don't know why I'm interested in this, but it looks cute, and I'm gonna try and read it for this challenge. An important read. This one I got during Christmas. Half Price Books has really mega deals right after Christmas, so it was the week after Christmas, like into the new year. And but it wasn't last year because it was in 2024, so it was right after Christmas of 2023 going into 2024. So I've had this on my shelf for a little bit, but it was a super buy. It was only $4. I don't know why I didn't take these stickers off, but it's okay. Questions for another time. This is The Opposite of Fate by Allison McGee. And this follows this woman named Mally Williams, who was assaulted. And during her rape, she becomes pregnant. And she's also in a comatose state. So she can't pick for herself what she wants to do. But time is running out because you can only get an abortion so far into your pregnancy. And I think that this is going to hit so close. Like, here's the thing. I don't talk about politics or religion, mainly because I'm a teacher and you can't talk about that stuff at school anyway. So I just say that I have no opinion, or I plead the fifth. That's not true though. I mean, everyone has opinions, and this covers a subject that is very near and dear to my heart, not only about assaults, but about pregnancy. And I have a lot of feelings about this book and towards this book, and I'm scared that it's gonna break me. But here's the thing, I love books that break me and make me into a better person, or maybe a worse person. But I'm scared to read this, but I also think that it's gonna be a very important, very meaningful book to read. And then we have Learn Something. Okay, so it's clearly not the same day. It's actually been several weeks since I filmed this, and I'm just now getting into editing, so yay. But the next prompt is Learn Something. And at the time I had picked a fiction book that had a lot of like Krav Maga and boxing, and that stuff somewhat intrigues me. But I think for Learn Something, I'm going to read The Healed Empath. And it's a highly sensitive person's guide to transforming trauma and anxiety, trusting your intuition, and moving from overwhelm to empowerment. I am an educator who is educating the youth of today, but also like many of them come with trauma. They all come with baggage. But more than that, I'm a foster mother to two incredible children. I don't even tell people that they're my foster kids because they are my children. But this is a nonfiction book, and it's a self-help book about like your feelings and your emotions and how to keep them in control, and maybe it'll help me be less overwhelmed with life, especially when it gets super crazy. Here we are. Then mix and match. You really only have to pick two of these, but you know me, I go above and beyond, and as part of that above and beyond, I'm gonna pick one for all four prompts. So 4 more books to go. So You Again. Initially Danny made that prompt for like repeat authors, maybe an author that you didn't love from before, but you think you could love from that author. But really, Danny said that you could pick anything. It could be a trope, it could be an author, it could be a genre, it could be like anything that you're questioning and you're like, you again? Okay. So for that, I kind of changed a little bit. I stretched it. This is Breathers by S.G. Brown. Here's the thing. I was reading this. I was loving this. And then I put it down at like 100 pages in. And I haven't gone back to it in like 8 months or something like that. And I really want to. I want to know what happens. It's a love story between zombies. And if I remember correctly, it was kind of funny. But I don't remember a lot, so I'm going to have to restart it when I read it. So it's like You Again. Oh, I kind of put you to the wayside and forgot about you. But hey, breathers, I'm here for you. I want to try this relationship again. Type of thing. Then we have Not From Around Here. Not From Around Here. It could be a different country, a different state. Here's the thing. My husband and I, before COVID, so a while ago, had this plan to visit every state before I turn 30. I am now 32 and have not seen every state. So I'm going to pick He Will Be My Ruin by K.A. Tucker for this because it takes place in New York, which is one of the states that I've always wanted to go to. New York City in particular. This is like lower Manhattan, East Side, I believe. And you know what they say. I'm just kidding. I don't know what they say about the East Side of Manhattan, but probably Richie Rich. But more than that, this is a romantic suspense. And I haven't dabbled in romantic suspense very much, but it is something that I could see myself potentially liking. Here's the thing though. I'm kind of growing out of domestic thrillers. So if romantic suspense and domestic thrillers are on the same wavelength, and that's what I fear, that they're going to be on the same wavelength, then I'm not going to like this. But it's K.A. Tucker, and K.A. Tucker is queen. Okay, then You Sure About This? Here's the thing. I don't really remember what the prompt You Sure About This means. So I kind of just picked a book that there's something about it that I really want to read it, but at the same time, I'm never going to pick it up on my own. And that's Not Your Average Hot Guy by Gwenda Bond. So I think I'm scared to read this because I think that she falls in love with him like insta-love. Hate insta-love. Also, he has horns. I don't know if you can see that. I think he's a demon or the devil or a devil. And I'm scared if I'm gonna like this or not. And the last one is You're Weird. And this one might feel like a cop-out, but it's okay. I've recently started getting into dark romance. I've really, really enjoyed some. And I've really, really hated some. This one I've heard is just a smutty good time. And that it's like spicy. But some of the things that they do to each other is weird, to put it lightly. And for that, I'm going to pick Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. Also, this is the first in a trilogy, and I'm not a series girly, but, you know, maybe they can sway me. This is a serial killer, spicy romance, but they're enemies, and they're trying to kill each other, but they fall in love, and I don't know, I'm so confused, but I heard it's, like, the spice level in here is real. I don't know what that means, but I heard it's, like, heavy spice, and I have realized in my reading dark romance times, like 3 months, I like a dark romance that has a good plot, that's not just smut, and bedroom scene after bedroom scene after bedroom on the counter scene. I think there's a on the counter scene. I don't know, I haven't read it. I just remember hearing something about that. But I also heard that it's very, very dark because they're both serial killers and they're both really trying to get the other one dead, I believe. So I'm nervous for this one, but also everyone loves the series. Like, everyone adores the series. So I don't know what that says about me, but that is like my That's Not Normal TBR, and I know I'm starting it later than Danny did, but I'm also gonna end it later, so it'll be like a June to June thing, and hopefully I read all of those books. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here.